Hello and welcome back to Sikich Live. It's your host Mike Dieter coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. It's a little bit cloudy today, but a nice day to stay home and stay safe and healthy. Today we're talking about a very hot topic right now. It's enabling companies to provide excellent customer service while maintaining and improving sales efficiencies at your company, all using Microsoft Dynamics CE customer service and sales modules. Joel Hatton, he's a returning guest of ours. He was on a few weeks ago, I believe, and he'll be joining us in just a little bit. But like I do at the beginning of every Sikich Live for all of my loyal followers that come every week, I have to mention to like and subscribe and sign up for notifications that you know when we're going live each Tuesday and Thursday. Whether it is on an exciting topic about ERP, IT managed services, security, CRM, and so much more in the business world. Right now, there's a lot of information going around about the pandemic, business challenges within the pandemic, and so much more around that. And we're hoping that we can come to you live each week so that you can ask us questions about how our company and other companies that we're seeing is handling this crisis in America right now and across the world. We want to help. I've been told my microphone might not be working super effectively. Hopefully that is working a little bit better for everyone. So like I said, don't be shy and Sikich Live if you're in the chat right now. Ask a question about something that you want to know right now. That's why we're here. That's why we're on. Let's bring on Joel here. Joel, if you can join us. Welcome back, Joel. Thanks so much. If you want to introduce yourself a little bit, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Hey, Michael, thanks for having me back. My name is Joel Hatton. I'm a pre-sales solution engineer, architect at Sikich. I work very closely with our sales, marketing, and delivery team to work with our clients to understand how they can use technology, both the Dynamics and in the Salesforce space, to better serve their organization.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Joel. Hopefully my microphone is working a little bit better here. Joel, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Oh, my producer in the background said that we're golden. Yay, that's great news. Joel, let's jump right into the questions that I have for you. Like I said before, the pandemic is affecting so many companies and organizations across the world right now, and a lot of people need advice that they perhaps didn't need before. So I want to start off to ask, sales and customer service teams are remote right now, right? Or at least most are. And that seems to be current best practices around organizations to keep those team members remote as much as possible if they don't have to work in a factory or anything like that. So how is this affecting business, and what tools are there to help, specifically to CRM tools?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, if you think about it, salespeople within an organization are deemed essential, but in the pandemic we're living in, it's really non-essential. So it's difficult for our sales individuals and even customer service reps to go visit their customers and understand, what's going on and what they could potentially sell to them. So it's a real challenge, right? And with not being in an office and everybody being in a home office like I'm in today, how do I interact with my team? How do I interact with the rest of my organization to make sure that I'm generating, the activity that's needed and following up on the activity and delivering the same level of customer care that, my customers are expecting and demanding. Whether I'm in the office or at home, it's really irrelevant to them. Being able to deliver a consistent level of care and sales is important. So from a tools perspective, I mean, this is really where CRM tools like Salesforce and Dynamics sales really come into play and are strong. Those tools will allow you to, kind of collaborate with your team, collaborate both on the sales and on the marketing and service side. So that way you've got a really good 360-degree picture of all of the interactions that are going on from a customer perspective. Because there isn't an opportunity for me to go down to the service team to find out what's going on with my top 5 customers, and if there's not an opportunity for them to let me know what's going on, that might impact my sales. So having a CRM system, even just for managing those client communications and understanding who's working on what and what issues are arising and what's being sold or talked to from a customer perspective is absolutely critical when you're disconnected like we are today.
So marketing has not stopped, and many new reports and findings at companies is that marketing budgets and activities have become more important than ever during the pandemic right now to secure future pipeline, future forecasting. So in that, marketing generated leads are so important. So how do they know that they're being followed up? How are we ensuring that all of the spend that companies are putting into marketing right now is being followed up on by all of our salespeople out there that are remote right now?
Yeah, so that's a really great point, because if you think about it, the investment that companies are making today in marketing leads is more important than you would think, right? Because that's really going to help bring a lot of these companies out of whatever downturn they may be in. Or on the flip side, we've got customers and even some prospects that we're dealing with that are seeing, triple and quadruple growth with respect to internet leads. Depending upon the industry you're in, there are certain sweet spots where customers are buying and buying aggressively. So, whether you've got that massive influx of leads or you've got those leads and they're important and you want to nurture them, it's still the same concept. You need some level of mechanism to get them into your system and get them in quickly. So by bringing them in from a web form or a website and automatically cycle them to the appropriate rep is critical. Set reminders for those reps, kind of help pre-populate a lot of that activity. And in some instances, we've seen organizations have to hire inside sales reps just to handle the amount of growth that they're seeing from these marketing needs. So how do you do that in the middle of a pandemic, right? You're doing the interviewing, the hiring through all these different web tools, but how do you train them? So giving them a consistent process, this is what I want you to do in order to get them qualified and into the hands of a seller that can take them the rest of the way is critical. So by designing those roadmaps, if you will, from getting that lead into the system to getting it qualified and making it easy, is something that your CRM system like Salesforce or Dynamics should be able to do right away.
So let's talk about the visibility of those activities that the salesperson or the customer service rep is doing remote. How are companies, executives, HR teams, I guess you could say, how are they making sure that those team members that are just hired and perhaps haven't been as a part of the company as long, especially how are we making sure that they're not watching Cobra Kai on Netflix right now?
Yeah, it's a really great point, right? So the reality of that is, a lot of those intricate activities can be tracked inside of your CRM system. And it's just, simply logging in those phone calls, getting those email communications brought into the system, getting those tasks created, qualifying those opportunities. Your traditional work day, right, should still happen whether you're home or in the office. And leveraging a lot of the general activity metrics that are there, setting goals for your team members, setting the ability to say, hey, we got a minimum threshold from an activity perspective that we expect from every inbound lead rep that we're working. So you need to have a certain number of dials that you need to have a day, and then integrating those dials with the technology you're using. So make it easy. I click on the lead record and it's making the phone call for me and helping populate the information. By doing that and tracking the activity that you would normally track, you're going to get a good metric of who's making the phone calls, who's actually qualifying the deals correctly, and then obviously from a reporting perspective, you can put it all into a nice dashboard to see where the team's working well and where the team's not working well, and then laser focus in on the ones that need some training and some help, right?
Absolutely. So customer service, we've talked a little bit about this throughout, but customer service has never, it's looking more and more different all the time. What can we do to help improve the customer service experience when we're remote?
Yeah, that's probably one of the more important topics from a CRM perspective, because if you think about it, a lot of those call centers are now pushed to, you're working out of your house, and you've got your phone connected to your computer, and you're supposed to make, the level of care and customer service that you would if you were in your office. So by building out a process, whether it's a guided process or a process that says, these are the steps that we want you to work through in order to get that customer's issue resolved, whether it's spending that time up front identifying the issue and then investigating what that issue is and then coming to some level of resolution. That's important. But not only taking that, but what are the steps that I want to go through in each one of those kind of key bucket areas, and building that in, because sometimes customers will get disconnected and they'll have to call. They may be starting with me, Mike, and then end up reaching out and getting you. They don't want to have to rehash everything that they went to. So give them a consistent experience, make it painless, and make it something that you're going to grow on and deliver that care, because customer satisfaction is absolutely critical nowadays. People's frustration levels are at an all-time high. And if you can make it easy for them to get what they need from you and make it repeatable, so that way, Rep A and Rep B are saying the exact same thing, that's absolutely very important today.
So how can we make sure that important tasks aren't being skipped because you can't interact face-to-face with the employees?
Yeah, so the easiest thing that you can do in any CRM system is to create workflows and alerts, right? So there are important tasks like opportunities need to be followed up on. So make sure that you're seeing regular activity underneath those opportunities. So you can trigger workflows, alerts, notifications to the sales user that are saying, hey, you've got these deals that are set to close. Make sure you're following up on them. Leads, that's an important one, right? Don't let a day go by if you haven't at least reached out to that lead. And if a new lead has been brought into the system and no one's followed up on it, alert management, because the interactions that you have with those customers and prospects are critical. So alerts, notifications, workflows, those are all things that standard CRM systems can use. And that'll really help, kind of manage that workload and make sure things that are important are top of mind and followed up on in a timely manner.
Absolutely. And like you said, some companies are seeing exponential growth during this time, and they don't always have the time or ability to hire all the employees that they need to keep up with that growth. It's so important to automate these processes in a CRM system like Dynamic CE, so that we can eliminate all of this inefficiencies in the processes now that are just going through paper Excel documents, or perhaps you have a CRM system, but it doesn't have the data or the activities even set up to be able to automate that into a nice workflow. So I think just automating is the way to go. It's the way of the future. It's here and it's ready, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's not, for some firms, automation is just forwarding that email along, and that's not what automation is. It's getting things finger ready so I can go and interact with it. It's letting people know when things aren't working correctly or being followed up in a timely manner. And it's helping bring that customer aggravation level down, which is something that we all need more of at this point.
Absolutely. Well, Joel, I don't have any more questions for you. Thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on for your second time. So I'm guessing that a third time is going to be coming up soon. I think we have some other CRM related lives happening later this month and early October. So we'll be happy to have you back then. Thanks so much for joining us and answering all the questions.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Well, like I always say, like and subscribe. Make sure to sign up for those notifications. We were glad that you could be here for Sikich Live today. We will see y'all next time. Bye.